Hi, in this video we will discuss adding radicals. So if our radicals look exactly alike, notice in this first example I have square root 5 and square root 5. We can think about the radical in terms of like an x, okay? So think about how you would add 3x plus 4x. Okay, you'd notice that they were like terms, they just had an x, and then you'd add the coefficient out front, 3 plus 4, and you would say that this is equal to 7x. When we add radicals, we can do it the same exact way if our radicals look exactly alike. Notice I have root 5 and square root 5. They look exactly alike. So when I go to add these, I'm just going to add the coefficients out front. So I've got a 3 and a 4. I add those together and get a 7, just like if we were adding 3x and 4x. And now we put x up here when we add 3x and 4x. So in place of that, I'm just going to put square root 5. Okay? So think about it in terms of adding algebraic expressions. And now I can also subtract them, okay, and add them. I can do multiple operations, all right? But notice here, everything looks exactly alike. Square root of 7, square root of 7, square root of 7. So I'm going to kind of ignore the square root of 7. Think about it as being like an x. Okay, so I'm going to end up with square root 7, or in other words, my x. And then I'm just going to look at the coefficients out front. I have 3 minus 4. That gives me minus 1. Plus 7 is going to give me a positive 6. Okay, all right. So the way I did it was add the coefficients out front. 3 plus a negative 4 gave me a negative 1. Negative 1 plus 7 yielded a positive 6. Now, what do we do if our radicals don't look exactly alike? Well, we need to try to get them in terms of something that looks exactly alike. So here under my radical, I have 45 and 80. So I cannot subtract these until my radicals look exactly alike. So what I'm going to do is try to make them look exactly alike by simplifying my radicals by factoring. So I know that 45, I can do my prime number tree, breaks into 5 and 9. Okay, and that 9 breaks into 3 and 3. Remember, anything that occurs twice, I can move it out front once. Okay, so 45 breaks down into 3, 3, and 5. I can move a 3 out front. When I move the 3 out front, I have to multiply it by the 12. 12 times 3 is 36. Okay, and now under my radical, I'm just left with whatever I'm left with, and that is square root 5. Okay, now let's do the same thing for 80. All right. If I look at 80, I can break it down into 2 and 40. 40 I can break down into 2 and 20. 20 I can break down into 2 and 10. And 10 I can break down into 2 and 5. Now anything that occurs twice comes out front once. I've got 2 2's, so I'm going to put 1 2 out front, and I've got 2 more 2's. So basically I'm going to put 2 2's out front, or in other words 4. 4 times 8 is going to be 32. So now this is subtract 32. And notice that all I'll be left, because I moved all these 2's out front, okay, all I'm left with under the radical is this 5, so minus 32 root 5. Now that my two radicals look exactly alike, they both have the square root of 5, I can then simplify this. Again, I'm going to do it like I did before. Think about the root 5 as just being an x. 36x minus 32x would yield me 4x, but now I'm really not dealing with x's, I'm dealing with root 5's. Okay, so I do the operation on the numbers out front. 36 minus 32 was 4, and I keep my radical as long as they look exactly alike. Here's my last example. We're going to do the same thing. 12 and 27 do not look exactly alike, so I'm going to see if I can further simplify my radical. 12 breaks down into 3 and 4, and 4 breaks down into 2 and 2. So I can pull a 2 out front. Anything that occurs twice can come out front once. So I'm going to pull 1 2 out. 2 times 5 becomes 10. And what I'm left with under my radical is 3. Okay, because I couldn't pull it out. If we look at 27, we can break 27 down into 3 and 9. Okay, we can break 9 into 3 and 3. Anything that occurs twice comes out once, so I can pull a 3 out. This is going to be 30. And then whatever doesn't come out is left under my radical. So this is root 3. And now just like before, I do my operation with the numbers out front. 10 plus 30 is 40. And I just keep my radical. The big watch out on all of these is you cannot combine them unless your radicals look exactly alike.